Hi guys, my name is Brie. Welcome to my channel. I'm not even gonna lie, it's been a little minute since I last uploaded. Don't come for me, y'all, okay? I just been going through a lot of shit. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into the video for today because I'm really excited. Within these last few months that I haven't been as active on my YouTube channel, I have been kind of doing other things. So I was recently signed to an acting agency. I'm so happy about that because it's been a goal of mine for like about a year and a half now, and I just kind of was hesitating and like I just didn't submit for a long time because I don't know, I guess I was just kind of doubting myself and just kind of scared of like, what if this happens, what if that happens. A few months ago I decided like, you know, I'm done waiting, I'm done procrastinating, I'm just gonna go ahead and submit and see what happens. And I submitted to an agency and I was offered representation. So I'm gonna give you guys basically the rundown of how I got accepted into the agency and just different things that I think that you could do if you're interested in doing that. I have some things written down on my phone. By the way, y'all, look at my phone case. But I got this off of Amazon. It's so fucking cute. It's not like the best for protecting your phone, but it's really cute and aesthetically pleasing. So I'm actually gonna use a primer today for like the first time in forever. I really hope this doesn't make my makeup separate. That's my #1 reason why I don't use primers a lot. The first thing that I feel like is really important when it comes to acting is getting headshots. So basically, if you don't know what a headshot is, it's basically just like a picture of yourself, and you'll use that whenever you submit to like a casting call or you submit for like an audition or something like that. They're just gonna ask for a headshot so that way they can see what you look like. It's really important to have good quality headshots. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go and spend all this money, get a professional photographer to take your pictures, because that's not always the case. It's very, very possible to take pictures on your own and take your headshots on your own. For the first few years of my acting career, I had my friend take my pictures on like his iPhone. I don't remember, I think he had like an 8 Plus back then. Like that was before we had like the 3 cameras and stuff. But I would recommend going to a photographer, somebody who has like a camera, or if you're going to use your phone, make sure that you're like editing the pictures good enough to make them look professional. But you do want this to be like a professional looking photo, especially if you're submitting to an acting agency, because a lot of the times they're going to require that you get professional headshots done. Because that's how my agency was. When I first submitted, I didn't have professional headshots. I just used like a regular picture of my face and a full body picture. I had submitted that I took off this camera. They had offered me representation, but they told me that before I was able to like start submitting, I was gonna have to get some professional headshots taken. So I ended up getting some headshots taken by this guy who I was very lucky to find, because I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you guys and act like this stuff can't be like expensive or costly. Like, it's gonna cost you money. You're gonna have to spend some money. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things, because that's just a part of being in the industry and a part of following this type of career path. Like, you're gonna have to spend money sometimes. I was able to find a photographer that took my headshots for $75. That's actually really good. Depending on where you live at, you might have a lot of photographers around you. Like if you live in like LA or California or somewhere where there's a lot of like stuff going on, you're probably gonna have more photographers and stuff around you, versus if you live somewhere like Utah or like Idaho or like Kansas or something, there may not be as much photographers around. But trust, there's still people out there that are into that type of stuff, and I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be somebody that you can find. Make sure you find a good photographer and you're looking at their work before you decide to book with them, because you want to make sure that your headshots are going to turn out the way that you want them to be, because they can get expensive, like I said. And if you're going to be paying all that money for headshots, you want to make sure that they're good quality and that you actually like them. And it's also important to make sure that you have diversity in your headshots. So I would say you want at least one headshot where you're kind of like smiling, one headshot where you're kind of like looking at the camera with a more serious face if you're going to submit for like a more dramatic role or something like that, and then like just a regular headshot of you just, you know, just your normal face. Kind of want to have a variety of different like faces or vibes that you're giving in the headshot or in the picture, because there's going to be a lot of different roles that you're probably submitting for. And if you're submitting for like a really dramatic role in like a scary movie or like a horror movie, it just doesn't make sense to add a headshot where you're like, you know, like it just doesn't make sense. You want a headshot where you're more, you know, serious. Or I can kind of give an example like of the headshot that I submitted for a horror film that I got a role for, or that I got booked for. So this is my headshot and what it looks like. So I'm not like necessarily smiling or like not smiling, but I'm kind of just like, just giving face, you know, just giving, just serving. Are we smiling or are we serving? Smiling or serving? But yeah, versatility in the headshots is really important too, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of different roles that you're probably going to be submitting for. So you just want to make sure that your pictures are kind of correlating with the type of casting you're, you know, going to be dealing with for that project. Okay, so the next thing that I would say would probably be helpful is to get some experience. That means doing like local community theater, or if you have like community colleges or universities near you, that's a really great opportunity, because if there's a college with like a film department, usually there's going to be college students that are looking for people to work on their short films or whatever assignments they have for their class, and that's a really great opportunity, especially if you're like a kind of a beginner actor and you don't really know much about acting, or you haven't really experienced being on a set before. It's really like insightful and really helpful to be in an environment where everybody's kind of learning. You know, it's not as intimidating as you being on an actual TV show or professional set where everybody here has years of experience and this is your first job. Like, it's not going to be as intimidating, because if you're working with college students, they're also learning and they're also, you know, like new to the industry, so it's not going to be as intimidating. That's a really great opportunity. I've done a student film before, and a lot of the time the only thing about that is that you're not going to get paid, because it is a student film, so a lot of the time it's just like you're going to be volunteering, and it's just more so to kind of get experience and to have something to put on your resume, because that's going to be your #1 thing when you're first starting off as an actor, is building your resume and building your demo reel. But yeah, definitely getting experience with doing local community theater if you have one near you. I know sometimes it can be difficult to find things like this. Trust and believe, I know, because I'm from not a small city in Ohio, but I'm from Ohio, so there's not a lot of stuff going on around me either. I just basically kind of take whatever opportunity I can get. This is a very long journey being an actor. A lot of the times, like, you're not gonna get the role that you were wanting to get, or you're gonna audition a lot of times, you're not gonna hear anything back, and that's just normal for an actor, so don't let it discourage you. Facebook groups are another great option. I know for me, like, I'm in the Ohio area, so I'm in a lot of Facebook groups that are catered towards the Ohio areas. Basically like acting groups, or groups for actors, or groups for directors, or groups for filmmakers. That's how I found a few of my auditions and a few of my gigs that I've done, through Facebook groups. Just be very careful, because there are a lot of scams on there, and you never know who could really be behind that casting. It could be a freaking trafficker or a murderer or anything. Like, just be careful and trust your gut, and do your research before you actually submit for something. Like, if you see that they don't give any email addresses, or they don't give a name of a company, or they don't give a name, or like they're just giving very vague details on the casting call, it's probably a scam. So don't even submit for that. Just keep going about your day, because you don't want to end up in a very bad situation. That's not what we want. We want to be safe. We want to, you know, make it in this industry. We want to make it till tomorrow, and make it till next week, and all the other days and years to come after that. So just make sure you're protecting yourself, and always tell people where you're going when you're going to auditions. Take some classes. Acting classes are going to be great. It's really important to make sure that you know how to act before you try to go and get in front of a camera, or before you try to go and get on a stage. And I know, like, depending on where you live at, sometimes the resources might be a little bit limited, but there's a lot of online options too. I've taken some online acting classes through Zoom, and I've taken some singing lessons through Zoom. They even have dance classes and stuff through Zoom. So if you don't have classes and stuff like that near you, that could be an option for you too. Yeah, get experience, acting classes, all of that stuff was going to help to build up your resume, and just to build up your self-esteem as an actor, and to build up your presence as an actor, because when you go to classes, you make connections and you meet people, and then they can introduce you to other people, and this, that, and the third. So it's just really great to do things like that. And doesn't matter where you are in your career. Even people who have won Oscars and people who have been in like really popular movies have acting coaches, and they have acting teachers, and they still take acting lessons. Don't ever think that like you know everything, because there's always going to be room for improvement. So your resume is basically going to be like a piece of paper, or for me it's like on a Google Doc or a PDF file, basically like any other resume, like a job resume, but for acting. So you're going to put all your acting stuff on there. That's going to be one of your #1 things, especially when you're submitting to an agency. You want to make sure that you at least have a few things on your resume. A lot of agencies aren't going to want to accept people who don't have any type of experience. Even if you don't have experience, don't let that discourage you. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Like, even just taking a few classes is better than like having nothing on your resume. They'll want to actually sign you and represent you, because at the end of the day, what an agency does is they help you get auditions, and they're representing you. So they're going to want somebody who's actually passionate about this career path. They're going to want people who are actually going to book jobs, because at the end of the day, that's what they're there to do. They don't get paid until you get paid, so they want to make sure that you get paid and that you're getting booked so that they can get paid. Pretty much all they do is just kind of help you find professional auditions. Acting agents have connections in the industry that normal people like me don't have. So like when they did the casting for like the Wicked movie, or like Marvel and stuff like that, they're not going to post those casting calls on like Facebook group, or they're not going to post that on like the news or something. You want to make sure that you have an agent if you really want to be serious about this career path, because they're going to get you all the auditions and stuff that you would never be able to find yourself, and all the professional paid stuff like that is going to be through an agency most of the time. I'm pretty sure you can find paid work yourself too. I'm not saying you can't, but your agency is going to help a lot more with that because they have the connections through the industry. Add a little bit of this blush too because I haven't tried it yet. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at how that blends. And if you don't know what a demo reel is, that's basically just like a compilation of your work. Almost, it's kind of like a portfolio but for an actor. So when you submit to certain auditions, or when you submit to certain casting calls, or when you submit to an agency, they're usually going to ask you for a demo reel at some point. So they kind of want to see what you look like in front of a camera, and what you look like acting, or what you look like on stage, or they just kind of want to see you in action. So it's kind of like a compilation of some of the projects that you've worked on. It's going to take a while for you to build that up. You know, as a beginner, you're probably not going to have a demo reel. When I submitted to my acting agency, I had a video that my aunt had taken of me when I used to do theater, and I had literally like filmed myself performing like 2 monologues, or like I think it was like 1 or 2 different monologues, and I just took a clip of that and like put those few videos together and made like maybe a 1.5-minute video, just kind of showcasing like me acting. And since I didn't have like a lot of experience on like TV shows or on sets or doing professional work, I just literally got my camera and recorded myself doing some monologues. So if you don't have any experience, that's a great way too. And then once you get like your resume and your demo reel all together, then that's when I would suggest to go ahead and submit to an agency, because at that point you pretty much have everything that you need. Once you have your headshots, once you have your resume and you have your demo reel, then I think that's when it's necessary for you to apply for an agency. I'm not going to tell you not to though. Like if you don't have experience, if you don't have a demo reel, make a video of yourself, like record some monologues and submit to an agency. The worst they could do is say no. Like literally just go for it. You never know what the answer is going to be until you do it. You don't necessarily have to have those things in order to be signed, because I didn't even have a professional demo reel. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now, is building up my demo reel and my resume. Before you submit though, this is the most important thing. Before you submit, make sure you do your research. Okay, that's my next point. Do not just sign up for an agency just because like it's the first one you saw when you typed up talent agency near me. And if you are offered a contract, or if you are offered representation, please read your contract, understand what you're agreeing to, because a lot of the times when you are like signed to an acting agency, it's for years. Like I think my contract is for 5 years with my talent agency. So you want to make sure that you're with an agency that's actually like that you like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be with like trust. There's a lot of horror stories about agencies and stuff. You don't want to end up in a situation like that. So please make sure you do your research. Reddit is a great place for that, because you know Reddit's always going to be honest and tell you the truth about if something's sex or not. So Reddit, all of that, Google, and you know, maybe go on Instagram, see if you can find some people who are represented by them and ask them what their opinion is on it. But just make sure you do your research and watch out for scams. There's a lot of people that'll try to scam you. An agency does not make money until you do. The only time that you might have to pay an agency before you book any job, before you get paid, is if they have you do some type of like portal or website fee, which is what I had to do with my agency. So they had like my Heyman portal or whatever, and it's basically like my account where different casting directors and stuff can go into my account and see like my headshots and see my resume and whatever I upload to that portal. So that is a yearly fee of $100. But other than that, like your agency should not be asking you for $1,000. Like if they're asking you, oh, you know, $3,000 and we're gonna fly you out to Florida, like no, like don't do that. Okay, that is a scam. Until you've booked a role and you've gotten paid, you should not be paying them anything. You want to enjoy your acting career. You don't want to be taken advantage of by people. So just be really careful of that, because that is definitely a real thing that happens to a lot of people in the industry. Even people that we look up to, like even Kesha, she was manipulated and like her money was stolen from her by her manager, and like other artists like that who have really popular songs, or who you would think make a lot of money but they really don't, because their agencies and their managers are stealing their money from them. You just don't want to end up in a situation like that. So just be very careful and mindful. Be mindful of that, because that's the last tip I have for you guys. Watch out for yourself. Be careful. Don't trust everybody, because everybody is not your friend, especially in this industry. There's a lot of really crazy and fucked up things that go on behind closed doors. As you see the things that are coming out with like P. Diddy and like all of that type of shit, like being in the limelight, being famous, being a celebrity is not always all that. Some of them are miserable. Some of them have had, well, not even some, most of them have had very fucking traumatic experiences, and things happened to them because they were naive and because they were young and because they were taken advantage of. So you just want to be very careful and very mindful of that, because you do not want to end up in a situation like that, I'm telling you, and to where they can't get out of it. Like, they're stuck in a contract that they can't get out of. Just make sure you're protecting yourself and you're watching over yourself. And if you have, like, you know, friends, family, all of that type of stuff, just making sure that you're keeping them updated with what you're doing and all those things, so that way you're safe and you're protected, because that's really an important thing when it comes to being in this industry. Fucking hell, my knees hurt. Yeah, my fucking knees hurt so bad. I've been sitting on this fucking ground. Oh my fucking god. But yeah, that's basically just my advice on how to get signed. Kind of the story of how I got signed to an acting agency. You know, just do it. Like, don't let the what if stop you from doing what you want to do in life. Because I'd rather take the chance and take the risk and know what happens versus never taking that chance, never taking that risk, never stepping outside of that box, and never knowing what happens. Because your whole life you're going to be wondering, I wonder what my life would be like right now if I would have did that, if I would have actually took that seriously, if I would have actually not allowed my fears to hold me back. You don't want to be 60 years old thinking that, like, what if I did this, what if this, that, and a third, because now it's too late. Go ahead and do it while you have the chance, especially if you're young. Your youthful years, you'll never get those back. So do what you love, do what you want to do. The worst they could do is say no to you, say no, we don't want to offer you representation, we've decided to go with someone else, and then you can try again. Literally the worst that can happen is that they'll say no. That's it. Like, they're not gonna blow your brains out, like, if you don't get it. It's not that serious, really. Just try it and see what happens, because you honestly might surprise yourself. Like, the results might surprise you. Honestly, I didn't expect to get signed. Oil on to top it off, because the gloss is always gonna just top off the look. Hello? Huh?
What are you doing?
Making a YouTube video.
YouTube video?
Yeah.
What's it about?
How I got signed to an acting agency. Okay, so here's the finished look. I think it ate. I think the hair is low-key giving too. It's not my best hair day, but you know, it's better than what the fuck was in my head before. So, but if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to go ahead and give it a like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want me to go like in depth about anything else, or kind of like talk about other experiences that I've had about certain things, I would be more than happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments and let me know what specifically it is that you want me to talk about, and if I know much about it, I'll give you guys as much information as I possibly can. We're all in this together. It's not a competition, and I want to help people who are young and aspiring artists and who aspire to follow their dreams. I've looked up to people like that my whole life, so I want to be that for somebody else. So I would love to help people if you guys have any questions or concerns. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you in some way, and make sure to follow me on my social medias. Check out my podcast, which I promise I'll be uploading to that again soon. It's been a long time, but with that being said, there's a lot of things that I have to say because it's been so long, you know. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again, and I hope to see you guys in the next video that I post. Peace.